Hello, my name is Henrik Jacobsen. I would like to share with you one of the insights that I gained from having one of these conversations last year with our friend Paul Earthwalker down in Patagonia in Chile. And I was fortunate to have an hour-long conversation with this very wise man, such an inspiration, such an example to follow. And I made a few notes from this because there was so many things. I hope I can capture them in a rather short explanation. So one of the things that I really remember from talking to Paul was that for any project that you try to make, in order for it to succeed, you need to be yourself. It's such wise words, because it's all about being authentic, right? If we are trying to be somebody else, something that we are really not, but we think this is the right way, etc., just from statistics or something we've seen on YouTube or whatever. In our interactions with other people, trying to make this project grow, this business or whatever it is that you're trying to do, it will shine through whether or not you are authentic, whether you are yourself, truthful, speaking your truth. We think that we can communicate and just talk about the right things and the right words, but I think that we often forget that I think it is some 97% or 95% or something like that of our communication, that's not our words. It is body language, it is energy, it is vibrations, and people can simply feel that if you are talking to them, if you are not being authentic, if you're not being yourself. And so I think this advice that Paul gave us to be ourselves and speak our truth, it's such a wonderful advice. Thank you so much, Paul. And now many others. Let's see what we got here. One of the insights that he gave me as well was that if you want people to be part of a local CSA or any local project, the members of this community, this organization, they need to feel ownership. Again, it makes so much sense, right? He has been walking all over the world, like physically walking from north to south to east to west, and what he has gathered of experience there is huge. Trying to initiate projects of planting trees all over where he went, he has witnessed so many projects fail. You can have government go with a program, you can have NGOs, you can have foreign countries coming to invest, companies, whatever. And all of those projects will create something, but they will fall apart as soon as that NGO or as soon as that government goes and focus on another project, unless the people involved have felt that this is their project, not some government's project. And we are talking again here about some basic human things. We need to be involved, we need to be authentic, we need to be real, and we need to give space for other people to collaborate. So it's not going to be only my way, or the company's way, or the manager's way. It needs to be a collective you could say democratic, but I like collective better, in the sense that we need to take everything into consideration. We need to honor the man who is cutting the tree or doing the firewood, sweeping the floor, just as much as the manager or the accountant. It all needs to be some symbiosis for that project to really grow and flourish. And you can just take Paul's project with the Austral Garden Trail as a beautiful example of this. Please try to find a link somewhere here. We'll put a link to that. And one of the other insights that came from my conversation with Paul was that you need to be aware of the evolution in a project. What personality types are the right ones in the beginning and towards the end? There are very different roles and very different chemistry. There are very different dynamics. And so let's say that Paul is a creator. That speaks very much to me as well. I like to create, I like to invent, I like to build. And that takes a certain kind of personality. And so make sure that when you're starting a project, you have the right kind of people for that part of a project. Later, once it's up and running, now it's going into another phase where it's very important that you recognize that your role as a creator, builder, inventor, etc., you let go at that moment and find somebody with another profile that I could call a sustainer. Somebody who's motivated and energized by a different kind of work, where it's not about, let's say, development, creating, building. Now it's about sustaining, which takes a whole different level of perspective and energy and drive to keep that momentum going. And I think most of us, we would, this is my project and I like it, and so I'll be the boss. Yeah, probably, and maybe that will be a good way. But also sometimes it's time to really look inside if you're the one in the right position for this project to continue, or if it's time to find other collaborators who have equal knowledge and value for taking this on in another direction or keeping it going, which is equally difficult. Just keeping momentum, keeping it going, keeping it steady as it is to create something. So if you're out there having a project going or wanting to get started, or find yourself 5-10 years into a project, please consider this. I find it so valuable, and thank you once again, Paul, for sharing. One last note that I made from my conversation with Paul is, you know, it's funny, these things. The very best, it always comes in the end, right? Once you have talked about everything you want to talk about, once you start to relax and just really connect deeply. And so what Paul said to me at the end, it's all about giving. The exact words, please forgive me, but something in the like of, give as much as you can. Whenever you can, as much as you can, just give away. Offer it for free. What a beautiful way of thinking open source, right? That is, to me, abundance. When you're able to give to your neighbor, anybody you talk to, meet, wherever, offer for free whatever it is that you got and that this or that person may need. If you have so much that you can give without even asking for a favor in return, that to me is abundance. And so ever since I've talked to Paul, I've really tried to put it into practice. And what a joy, what a blessing. What I can say, I'm trying to create a healing center up in those mountains over there. And so just an example. I have a lady coming by every day. She is milking the cows by hand in the morning, and she brings me 1 liter of milk. With that I make kefir, but I only have so much kefir each day, right? But I can't really ask for less than 1 liter. So I have always a surplus of milk and kefir. And I have some other neighbors walking by every day. They are roughly 8 years old, both of them. They don't have too many teeth in their mouth any longer, but boy, do they ever have a smile on their mouth. Walking up the mountain every day, need to tend to their cows, see how it's going, find a place in the shadow, have a nap. Beautiful. And so they are getting old, and it's hurting here, it's hurting there, and so, well, whenever they come walking down the mountain, I just give them as much as I have of that kefir if it's something that they would like. So this went on for a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Then the lady comes back. And in front of me, she's just doing gymnastics, ballet, showing me all the moves that she can do now that she couldn't do before. And I swear, if I had a camera taking that video, it would have gone wild on YouTube. But she was so happy and so thankful that I have been giving her this medicine. And it was absolutely the one thing that has healed her from all of her ailments. And I think there's something else also at play called the placebo, but whatever. I think this guy, he's up in the mountain, he's a stranger, he talks about these strange things about gut flora and health and many things. And I'm not quite sure how much of it they understand. But that doesn't really matter, because they were so happy for this. And so now she wanted to come and buy some of this miracle stuff called kefir, and so she could send it to her son. And son had a few liters, and he was reporting, wow, I feel like rejuvenated like never before. And that was just such an amazing story. And so, could I ever ask for a better advocate for my business up in the mountain than these local people telling that story? So I just wanted to share this, that just try to practice this. Just give away. Just give away and see what comes back. It may not come back from the same place or the same source, but it will come around, right? What goes around comes around, so just give it out there and something is going to come back to you. So that's what I wanted to share, and I hope you liked it, and please practice.